so I'll open it up for questions.
We'll go on the left side here, second row.
Coach Clint Schweitzer, Starcade Media in Kansas City. I'm sure you haven't been asked about the quarterback situation yet since you've been here and making the rounds, but it's kind of an obscure topic. You can everyone turn it off. So coming into this, though, when you kind of start assessing this, a lot of people believe that this will be something, obviously, that goes well into camp, maybe even into the first couple weeks of the season. When you start assessing this and start divvying out reps, what does this kind of look like for you once August starts with the quarterbacks?
Yeah, the competition's been ongoing. I mean, every day is a competition. Who is really providing the things that we determine to be what is significant for determining the starting quarterback: toughness, leadership, decision-making, accuracy, and preparation. So, how do those guys every single day determine those things? How are they reflective in what they're bringing to the table? Quarterback competitions, there's going to be divided up reps. We're going to have specific ways that we get guys reps and challenge those guys. But the reality of it is the teammates are going to know who's the starting quarterback. It'll reveal itself pretty quickly. It's just there's got to be time and place for that to occur. And it's going to be, Brady's going to go out there first, and he's going to have to get beat out. I mean, he's going to have to get beat out. It's not like he doesn't start in first. It's just that you can't rest on your laurels. You can't just sit there and anticipate that I can go and have 4 or 5 bad days and it will still be the starting quarterback. Like, we've got to complete the ball vertically down the field. We've got to create explosive plays in the pass game. We've got to be a smart, disciplined decision maker. And whoever does that consistently through the course of fall camp and maybe even into the first couple of games is going to be the guy.
Right side, second row.
Billy Jones, KCU 88.1 FM, Columbia. Coach, I know you're a guy who respects the roll. You love a good cinnamon roll. As a Nashville native, gotta recommend Slim and Huskies. Make a great cinnamon roll.
Well, can you give me the heads up prior to? I mean, you think
you got
Slim and
a couple
Huskies?
Hours, right?
Well,
no.
I mean, what time do you think they close?
I know they're open for dinner.
They are open for dinner.
Yeah.
Well, then, Kaz, let's see if we can get Uber Eats. I'm a connoisseur of cinnamon rolls, and I will be more than happy to put that on Twitter, which one I think is good.
Glad to hear it. I just wanted to ask.
You had a question? Oh, hell. Okay. There we go.
Can it be both? Recommendation and a question?
It sure can.
You and Kirby do a lot of similar stuff in terms of offensive philosophy. One thing he didn't feature as much as you did is that outside zone run. I'm curious, how much is that still going to stay in the offense as far as this year's concerned?
Yeah, I think it'll stay in it.
Front row on the left.
AP Stedham, AP and Kelly, as we see at syndicated radio. Coach, what are 2 areas in your offense, defense, and special teams that you must improve to have a better team? And what's in store for Luther Burden III this year? He had a pretty good year, I believe.
Yeah, 2 for each area.
2 for each area.
That's a heck of a lot of question in one question. Okay, defense, 4-point plays. Those are third downs in the red zone. We've got to improve. And then more turnovers. We got to create more turnovers. On the offensive side of the ball, we got to protect the quarterback and run the ball better, and we got to eliminate turnovers. Those 4 things combined would really change the outcomes of multiple games. On special teams, we got to be much better in our coverage units. There were multiple games where coverage units let us down, created explosive plays or scoring points for the other team. And then consistency on our punts. We were inconsistent in the ball placement and switching a field position. So that would be, offense, defense, and special teams. I think the next question was Luther Burden. Luther's needs to continue to take the next step. Obviously, we put a lot on him as a returner, as a guy with the ball in his hands and catching passes. We're moving him more of a slot wide receiver position, which will give him a new set of routes to run and new matchups, but he's still got to be consistent in returning punts and being creative to get the ball in his hands. He's had an excellent offseason. He's really worked hard. His weight is great. His work ethic has been really good, so excited to see him take the next step in his development.
Front row.
Chris Farble in KCOU 88.1 FM in Columbia. Earlier in the month, Missouri passed some NIL laws that are pretty advantageous compared to the rest of the country. And Commissioner Sankey's been talking about, of course, about how different states have been having different policies. How do you feel these new NIL laws, how do you feel that Mizzou football can benefit from them?
Yeah, I just want to reiterate how appreciative I am to Senator Rowden and Dean Plochard, our Speaker of the House, and Curtis Gregory and Governor Parsons, Lieutenant Governor Kehoe, Attorney General Bailey, all those guys who worked really hard, Dusty Schneiders, to come to NIL law that's I wouldn't say benefit the Missouri, benefit our student athletes. This is about providing an opportunity for our student athletes to have the best possible outcome they can have while playing college sports at our university and representing our university. And, you know, I'm going to do my very best not to create any type of wave, so I'm not going to answer the rest of that question other than just to say I'm appreciative of what the state law is and how we're going to operate right now. And there could be a lot of things in the future that become, but right now, today, how we're operating, I'm very appreciative to the leadership of the University of Missouri and our government in giving Missouri student athletes an opportunity to benefit.
Fourth row.
Jeff Spiegel, ABC 3340. Eli, the contract extension, what message did that send to you and your staff?
I would, again, just want to thank President Choi, the Board of Curators, and Desiree. I think the message was similar to the message of our players when we returned 18, when we had 18 returning starters retained on our football team. The message is we believe in what you're doing and the process and the work that's put in, and we believe that the results are going to come, and continue to look under the hood on what you can do better, and the things that you're doing really well, keep doing those better. And so very appreciative to them, and now it's up to us to prove that it was the right decision, not only myself but our staff, and to prove that we can accomplish the things that we say we're going to accomplish.
Second row.
How's Armand been developing in the guard position?
Yeah, Armand Membu has had an outstanding summer. You can just see his confidence continue to grow. Just an outstanding athlete, offensive lineman who has gotten stronger. He is so powerful. He played really good at the right tackle position, but providing position flexibility, I think, is huge for his growth and development and future career in the NFL. And man, he's so strong. He's got great range and good feet. So he's going to be very, very powerful at that guard position, and look forward to him anchoring that position for us.
Fourth row.
Eli, Jesse Simonton on 3. You made a strong hire in Coach Baker a year ago, and obviously the defensive strides that you guys made were quite notable. What gives you optimism that you've made a similar move in Kirby Moore this offseason for the Tigers offense?
Yeah, I think obviously Blake was just the perfect hire for us in the perfect situation. It's a combination of his personality as well as his leadership ability on the defensive side of the ball to get really 5 guys that had never worked together all on the same page and get that defensive unit to really gel together and buy into his vision. And, when I look at Blake, I see a guy who's going to be a future head coach and a guy who has the it factor to being successful, and just really thankful that our board and AD and president gave him an extension to keep the continuity on our defensive side of the ball. Everybody's uniquely different, and every situation's a little bit different. But I think Kirby, much like Coach Baker, has the right kind of chip on his shoulder with a little bit of an edge to prove something. To prove that he's not just the brother of somebody else, or that he's just been around, some really good offenses, that he can do it. And he's a grinder. He's a great communicator and teacher. So I have a lot of confidence in his organization and the characteristics. And Cruddy's a good play caller, man. You watch really the games that I watched were not the games that his quarterback, Jake Hayner, was playing. It was the ones when Jake was hurt and he had to call plays without Jake. And you look at those games and you go, wow, this guy really understands how to put a game plan together. And, and the other games I like to watch is when you're a group of 5 school and you got to play a Power 5 opponent. How do you game plan for that? How do you adjust? And, when he was there, whether it was the bowl game calling plays or Oregon State or Washington State or USC, watching those games and how he attacked those defenses and gave his team an opportunity through play calling to win a game, I thought was very impressive.
On the aisle, third row.
Hey, Coach. Bruce Marshall at WHBQ Memphis. Just a schedule question. In the big room, they asked you about St. Louis, and I noticed you're playing Memphis in the Dome.
Yeah.
And I know some Mizzou people around St. Louis who are really excited. Don't have to drive that far for the game. Is this a one-off in St. Louis, or are you going to do that every year, you think?
I think we're really excited about the opportunity that we got to do it this year. I think when we first explored this opportunity starting 2 or 3 years ago, and then when Desiree took over, we really pushed it a little bit further. It was an opportunity to re-engage a fan base that had lost a football team and tried to become the team of St. Louis again. When you look back in the early days of the rivalry with Illinois, that game was always played in the Dome, and those are some unbelievable atmospheres. And so trying to get that passion and energy back, I don't know if it'll be a every year situation. Obviously, schedules are so far in advance, and obviously the fluidity of 8-game, 9-game SEC schedule. But I do think it's something that we are actively looking to. How do we best engage the fans of the state of Missouri? And is that, having them come to Columbia, or us going to Arrowhead, or us going to St. Louis to play a game? What's the best opportunity for us to make sure that we take our product to the fans?
Last 2 questions over here.
Kennedy with CBS 42 in Birmingham, Alabama. Coach Sonny Dykes mentioned at the Big 12 Media Days that Missouri was playing in a lot of Big 12 championships and how he hasn't seen that much in the SEC. How do you feel about that?
Well, when he was in Cal, he must not have realized that Missouri played in the SEC championship in 13 and 14. I don't know if he just blacked out those memories or what, but I appreciate Sonny. I don't have any issue with that comment, but obviously Coach Pinkel in his first 2 years, I just want to correct the record. In his first 2 years, played in 2 SEC championship games. So, but other than that, I think this day and age in college football, calling people out for transferring, whether it's transferring jobs as coaches or transferring schools or whatever, is kind of ridiculous. Like, we are. I'm going to stop. Cos. I'm going to stop. So SEC, they played in just as a point of clarification for Coach Dykes, Missouri played in the SEC championship in 2013 and 2014.
Thanks, Coach.
MIZ.